today we're going to show you how to plant or sow some carrot seeds. It's quite an easy job to do in the garden. It's one of the simpler vegetables to grow. They're very good for you, very healthy, full of beta-carotene and vitamin C. And the most important thing when you're growing a root vegetable, especially carrots and parsnips, is to make sure that your soil is nice and light. If you try and grow carrots and parsnips in a clay soil, heavy soil, they're not going to do very well. They'll be stunted, they will have forked roots. Generally they just don't like clay soil, so you need to make sure that the soil is nice and light and has been dug over very well, so that when the seed germinates and the root starts to grow down, it's not going to be stopped by stones or thick clay soil. It's going to have a lovely easy root down, and you'll get lovely big strong carrots. The other thing to make sure is that you've got good fertile soil, so add some compost, grow bag, or some good organic fertilizer before you actually plant them in, which is what I've done here. So what I'll do now is we'll come a little bit closer and I'll show you how to sow this. Okay, so what we've got here is we've tilled the soil, i.e. we've dug the soil over and we've added some organic matter so that it's got some extra nutrients in there to grow your carrots. It's nice and light, it's not heavy, so when the carrot is growing down, it's going to be able to grow that root down into the soil without being stopped by clay or stones, etc. Okay, now, pretty simple. There are many different types of carrots. As you can see, I've got an array of carrot seeds here, along with beetroot and a few other things that I want to grow. What we need to do is we need to grow them in drills. You can throw the seeds down if you want to, but the best way is to grow them in a drill. Now, you can either use a bamboo, and you just literally place your bamboo into the soil like so, and you will have a nice drill like that. So you just sprinkle your seeds in, or alternatively you could use something like this. It's like a big dibber, and you just rake along the soil, or what I do is I just use my hand and I gently move the soil along. About a ½ inch deep is what you need to actually sow the seeds, and then when you're sowing them, you need to sow them very sparingly, because what you've got to do is you have to actually thin them out, and the less thinning out you do, the better, because you do get some little nasty carrot flies that will come and lay their eggs when they smell you pulling carrots. Again, you will find more information on that on my blog, gardeneryvonne.wordpress.com. But generally, carrots are pretty easy to grow, say, if you've got the right soil. So I will just come again a little bit closer, and I will show you how to sow those seeds. Okay, so we have got, we've made our little drill here, say about ½ inch deep, and then you need to actually grow carrots in succession, because what you don't want is a massive glut of carrots and then no carrots. So it's best to grow them every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe every 4 weeks, depending on how much carrots you like to eat. Pretty good for freezing, but if you want to get carrots for a good number of months, then it's best to actually do them in succession. Okay, so what we've got here is early Nantes, or Nantes some people call them. They're called early, but it doesn't really matter. You can grow them, pretty much right through spring and summer. Right, they're tiny little seeds. As you can see, they are very, very small, and if you just tip them in, you're just going to get a big pile of carrots in one area. So what we need to do is we need to sprinkle them in. Now you could use the little packet, and you could tap the seeds in this way, which certain people do, and I do with certain seeds. Or to get a little bit more of control over how many seeds you're putting in, tip them into your hand and then sprinkle them into the soil. So you know you can actually sort of control how much you're actually putting in, and you really do need to put them in very, very sparingly. Now, not all of them will germinate, so don't be just putting 1 or 2 in. You do need to put a few in for them to germinate, because they won't all germinate. They're pretty good germinating. So you're just sprinkling them in like so, and once we've got them all in the ground there, like so, all we're going to do is very carefully cover them over with the soil that we've pushed out of the way, and you need to make sure that your label, don't forget your label goes in, so you know what you're actually growing. I haven't written that label yet, so I'll write that in a minute. That's so they are my early nubs. So there you go, that's the first lot of carrots in. They need to be about ½ inch deep, and they need to be, I would give them a good, I'd say a good sort of 8–10 inches apart, and then you'll have enough room for them to grow. You can do them a little bit closer if you want, but that's what I recommend. So anyway, I'm going to get on with that, and I'll come back to you when I'm finished. Okay, so there you go. It's pretty simple to grow carrot seeds, or carrots from seeds. You need to make sure they're watered very well all the time, because carrots are, they like to get very moist. And they do take quite a while to germinate. It could take a couple of weeks, but once they do, they will grow quite quickly. Like I say, it's best to do successional growing, so i.e. put in a nice row, a couple of feet long, and then a few weeks later plant another row, and then you're going to get your succession of carrots, i.e. you're going to be able to get carrots, fresh carrots, week after week after week for a good few months. Anyway, I hope that is helpful. Thank you.